big news is coming out about the Las Vegas Raiders and the changes they might make at the quarterback position. With Pete Carroll joining the team, rumors started flying about a possible reunion with his former Seattle Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson. At first, it was just fans and analysts speculating, but now, NFL insider Ian Rappaport has shared some interesting details. Here's what he had to say. The Raiders still need a quarterback. One of Pete Carroll's good friends is Russell Wilson, the Steelers' quarterback. My understanding is that Russell Wilson wanted to play for the Raiders last year, but it didn't happen. This could be a possibility now. Ian's statement definitely adds weight to the rumors. It seems there's a real chance we could see Russell Wilson wearing silver and black. What's even more interesting is that Wilson reportedly wanted to join the Raiders last season, but for some reason, it didn't work out. Even during his final years with the Seahawks, there were trade rumors linking Russell Wilson to the Raiders. It feels like this move has been on his radar for a while. Could this finally be the moment Russell Wilson joins the Raiders? We'll have to wait and see. With Pete Carroll now leading the team, the possibility of Russell Wilson joining the Raiders seems even more likely. In my last video, I talked about this topic and shared some concerns. One big question is what really happened between Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll when Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos. There were lots of rumors about a fallout between Wilson, Carroll, and Seahawks general manager John Schneider. Some believed there was tension, but now it seems like that might have been exaggerated, or maybe they've patched things up since parting ways. According to Ian Rappaport, Wilson and Carroll still have a strong personal relationship. But honestly, I'm not sure how excited I should be about this reunion. Yes, Carroll and Wilson had huge success together, winning a Super Bowl and reaching back-to-back championship games. But that was over 10 years ago, and in the NFL, a decade is a long time. You could argue that both of them are past their prime now. I don't know if Russell Wilson alone can turn this team into a real contender in the AFC. At this point in his career, he might just be a bridge quarterback, someone who can step in for a year or two until the team finds its long-term solution. While he could be a solid starter for a season or two, I don't see him as the piece that will completely change the Raiders' future. The Raiders might decide to bring in Russell Wilson while they draft a young quarterback to develop. This approach would give the rookie time to learn and grow, while Wilson takes the lead for a year or two. From that perspective, it could make sense for the Raiders to consider him. But the big question is, what will Russell Wilson's market look like? Last season would have been the perfect chance to take a shot at Wilson. The Broncos were still responsible for most of his salary, meaning the Raiders could have signed him on a veteran minimum deal. Now, things are different. Wilson is an unrestricted free agent, and the current market for veteran quarterbacks ranges between $35 million to $40 million per year. At the very least, a deal for Wilson could look like a 2-year contract at $30 million per year. However, it's also possible he could command more than that, given how competitive the quarterback market has become. It's hard to say how much interest there will be in Wilson at this stage of his career. He's about to turn 36, and his best years are likely behind him. Right now, the Raiders and maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers seem like the most realistic landing spots. I'm not sure if any other team will go all in for Wilson at this point, but as I mentioned yesterday, he's still shown flashes of what made him great in the past. At this stage in his career, Russell Wilson can still be a solid and reliable starting quarterback. Last season, he played 11 games with the Steelers, throwing 16 touchdown passes and just 5 interceptions. The year before, with the Denver Broncos, where Sean Payton decided to move on from him, Wilson put up decent numbers, about 3,500 passing yards, 26 touchdown passes, and 8 interceptions. These stats show that he can still perform well and bring stability to the quarterback position. With Pete Carroll signing a 3-year contract, it's clear the Raiders know time is limited. Carroll is getting older, and the team likely wants to see how much he can improve things in this short window. In his first year, he'll need to prove the team can compete in a tough AFC. It's still very early in the offseason, and things could change. But I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Carroll turns the Raiders from a 4-win team last season into a team that can win 7 or 8 games and fight for a playoff spot. However, for that to happen, the Raiders need a stable and reliable quarterback. Last season's approach didn't work. Starting Jarrett Stidham, switching to Aidan O'Connell, and then dealing with injuries led to a chaotic situation with 3 or 4 different quarterbacks. That kind of instability can't happen again if this team wants to improve. A consistent QB will be key to making any progress. Having multiple quarterbacks suit up during the regular season is not a situation any team wants to be in, but that's exactly what happened to the Raiders last year. Now that Pete Carroll is coming in, we don't really know what he thinks about Aidan O'Connell. Honestly, any new coach joining the Raiders probably wouldn't feel completely confident relying on O'Connell alone. It's unlikely they'd put all their faith in him. That's why I can see the Raiders looking for a veteran quarterback in free agency, someone who can at least be a reliable bridge quarterback. With Pete Carroll in charge, it's easy to imagine the team being linked to Russell Wilson. On top of that, it seems like Wilson would be interested in the move as well. Another name to watch is Geno Smith. What happens with him and the Seahawks? Could Seattle consider trading him or even releasing him to save money? It's hard to say, but it's worth keeping an eye on. As for Wilson, I'm still unsure if I'd be thrilled about him joining the Raiders. Like I've said before, at best, he'd be a bridge quarterback, someone to give the team a solid year or two. But if the Raiders go this route, it has to be with the plan to draft and develop a young quarterback who can eventually take over after learning from Wilson for a while. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, one of the biggest challenges for Pete Carroll and the Raiders' offense will be establishing a strong running game. Another key decision will be selecting the right offensive coordinator. The good news for the Raiders is that this year's draft is packed with talented interior offensive linemen, and the team has plenty of money to spend in free agency. On top of that, the draft is loaded with skilled, young running backs. There's no reason why the Raiders shouldn't bring in a hungry, talented running back to boost the offense. By adding a couple of solid pieces to the interior offensive line, the Raiders can build a reliable running game. This would be crucial, especially for someone like Russell Wilson, who thrives in play-action plays. I'm also curious to see who Pete Carroll will choose as the offensive coordinator. Will he take a chance on someone new, perhaps a younger coordinator with fresh ideas? Or will he stick with someone he already knows and trusts, like Shane Waldron? Whoever it is, this decision will play a big role in shaping the Raiders' offensive success next season. Pete Carroll could consider bringing in someone he has worked with before as offensive coordinator. One option might be Shane Waldron, who was Wilson's offensive coordinator during his final season in Seattle. Another possibility is Darrell Bevell, who was the Seahawks' offensive coordinator during Wilson's early years. However, it's worth noting that Pete Carroll fired Bevell after the 2017 season, so it's unclear if bringing him back would be the best decision. Whoever Pete Carroll chooses as the offensive coordinator will have a major impact on how successful the Raiders' offense will be next season. As things stand now, it seems like Russell Wilson joining the Raiders is a real possibility. But what do you think, Raider Nation? Would Russell Wilson be a good fit for the Silver and Black? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I've got for you in today's video. If you're new to the channel and enjoy Raiders-related content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.